Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Greg Bassett, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. It's a big day here at PAC 14. We're continuing our candidate interviews for the upcoming election, and today we have one of the big fish in the house, Julie Giordano. She's running for county executive. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So this is a tough job. It's a big job. It's the biggest job in our county. Why do you want to do this?
Why would anybody not want to do this now? Originally we had talked about this. I had thought about running for county council since I had just been on the central committee. Unfortunately, as a teacher, we can't do that per the charter. And so it was actually brought to me from a state representative that would I be interested in running for county executive. It was a little unclear what our current acting county executive was going to do at the time. And so I decided, okay, let's do this. And so looked into the job and thought I really could make a difference in the county. And I look at some things and we have some really great ideas, and I'm really hoping that things work out November 8th. But we just want to see a change. We want to see a change in the county. I think for too long, a lot of things have remained stagnant. I think that there's been a poor relationship between the county and the city. And I think it's just time to bring in some fresh blood, which is going to happen with the council. And I think an executive change is going to be a great thing.
Yeah, you're out there talking to people all the time. You're a very active campaigner. What are people saying to you? What are you hearing? What's the reaction been?
They're very happy. They're very excited. They know how hard that I've worked. The first thing they say is, "Oh, I see your signs. They're everywhere." And then the second thing they say is, "I'm so happy that you have decided to put forth 100% effort for a year now. You haven't taken your foot off the gas yet." And they just talk about the issues. They talk about, public safety is a big one. Education, of course, is a big one, and our local economy. And so, they're hoping that I can come in and with a fresh set of eyes, we can make some changes and hopefully get the county moving in a good direction.
The charter is intentionally vague in what the job is. People can sort of make with it what they want. What kind of county executive are you going to be?
I hope to be one that's present, first and foremost. I want to be active. I think it's important to be, to engage with people in the community. I feel like they need to be a part of it. And I feel that here. People are excited. They know that they can call me at any point in time. They can message me on Facebook. So I think I just want to be a person that's able to be reached and able to, go out and just talk with people and be their voice and be their representative.
Right. Now, I've known you for a while now and a lot of communication back and forth. But people say to me all the time, how can a 40-year-old person without any real executive type experience be our county executive? How do you answer that?
Oh gosh, how do you answer that? I think the thing is that what exactly, what are the qualifications?
Exactly, yeah, I understand.
And so when you look at the charter, again, we've talked about this. You need to be 25 years old, I think at least, and you need to pay $25.
Right.
And that's basically what it is. But I think the biggest thing is that you need to go out and prove yourself. And I knew it was going to be an uphill battle. The age, the woman factor, and I hate to even use that card, but it was. Those are factors. And the fact that I've been a school teacher, I've had some management experience, being a human resources manager before and a special events manager, helping open business in Ocean City. But I think you really have to improve yourself every day. And I think being knowledgeable on the issues and knowing what's going on and going out and talking to people, I think people's attitude has changed a lot. I think that they see that I am engaged, I am, learning and reading every single day. And again, I think it's just going to be that you have to recognize that you're not going to be the expert in everything. And my goal, kind of jumping back to your previous question as to what kind of executive do I plan to be, I want to be an executive that encompasses all the best skills of the best people. I was so excited. I know before I had talked about the director of administration, and then I was able to announce who it was.
Right, which it's never happened before. That was pretty unprecedented.
Yeah, I did it, for a lot of reasons, because I think there were a lot of people that sort of were categorizing me only as that far right. And I think it was important for people to see that I'm bringing somebody from the Hogan administration and somebody who does have those great relationships with people in Annapolis, and showing that I can work with both sides of the aisle. And I think Bunky is just such a great asset.
Right, Bunky Luffman
Yes.
from Del Mar, who's the one that you picked.
Yes, absolutely. And he's got great experience. And I think it just kind of goes to show it's not just about you being the best, it's about bringing the very best people around. To accomplish a task.
One of the things you've hit on is something I've complained about for a long time is communication from the executive's office, but you seem like you want to change that.
Yes, I absolutely do. I kind of agree. It's one of those things where you try to look back and see communication and what exactly was going on. And it seems a lot of things were, behind closed doors and decisions being made. But I think it's going to be super important to keep everybody involved because it should be transparent and it should be literally that open door policy. And I really do hope to bring that back. One thing I plan to do is kind of upgrade our PR system a little bit. I'd like to work with D3 a little bit. They're actually doing more of a tri-county approach. Wicomico's just been a little reluctant to do so, but they're a great resource to advertise Wicomico and advertise the things that we're doing. And we want to not only just advertise what the executive is doing, we want to kind of advertise what's going on in our municipalities. We want Sharptown to contact us and say, hey, we've got our Heritage Parade, or, Pittsville to tell us they're doing something, in memory of Glenn Hilliard, or whatever the case may be, and make sure that we're advertising for them as well. So yeah, we definitely want open communication, and hopefully, we'll be keeping the press updated on all the great things that we'll be accomplishing.
How do you think you're going to be when it comes to the budget? What will be your priorities?
Yeah, I think probably my top priorities, obviously we have our water and sewer plan. I think I just have to commend Mike Dunn right now because of the group of, I think it's about 25 individuals that have come together to really kind of work out these issues. And I really hope to just kind of, I say piggyback, but kind of work right with them and continue on with their efforts. So obviously the water and sewer plan, education is always going to be a top priority of mine. I know I met with Dr. Micah Stauffer and really excited to see, the forward thinking that he wants to do and the changes that he wants to make. And then I would probably say, public safety, making sure, I know it's in the Capitol, but, making sure to see the public safety building, kind of come to,
Right.
kind of to be finished. And and just kind of making sure that our officers are having everything they need, to do their job efficiently.
It's interesting too. You mentioned schools. There's a fine line there between, being involved with the schools, but letting the school system do its job. So what do you see the county executive's role is with the school system?
Right. And so I think on paper, when you look at what the county executive does, and Councilman Davis has mentioned this numerous times, that you write the maintenance of effort check, and that's it. That's all you can do. And my hope is to be more involved with the school system. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to try to go in and dictate how they spend their money. That's not my role at all. But what I hope to be is a person that can support them, that they have an executive and a county representative that can be a support system for them. I want to be there on the kids' first day of school. I want to go to championship soccer games. I want them to see the executive out and about. I think Mayor Jake Day does a great job with that. I see him in our buildings all the time, and so I kind of hope to capitalize on that and kind of do what he's doing. The other thing is with education, I think you can get as involved as you want to be. I think it's good for our school board, to say, hey, we can call the county executive and talk things through, or at least just to be a part of it. So it's not so much that I don't understand the lane that I need to stay in, but I do want them to know that I will be there, in any way, shape, or form that they allow me. I'd like to bring the internship program back, whether it's high school kids or even with college, to get some more interaction with students in government.
For a lot of years, I was an editorial writer. I wrote an editorial every day. Some of them were good, some of them were not so good. I wrote one time that suggested that the answer to all of our problems in education wasn't necessarily paying teachers more money. You kind of said that in the recent debate forum, and there was a kind of a backlash. People were like, what? The teacher's saying that they're not doing it for the money. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more,
Sure.
Just so I understand?
Yeah, absolutely. So my point with that was, I think when you're not in education, I think it's easy to say, well, we just need to pay our teachers more because that will help with retainment and recruitment as well. And that is true. Those efforts are going to be there. But I've been a teacher for 18 years and I have taught with a lot of different people. Not one has ever said, man, I come to work every day because of this paycheck, or I decided to teach because of a paycheck. They come to work because they love kids and they love working with kids and they love seeing that aha look when a kid gets what they're teaching. That's why they do it. And so what's happened is that I feel that the teachers, as the years have gone on, have felt like their hands are becoming more tied and more tied with things. And so I think it's taking away from creativity. I think it's taking away from just the way that they run their classroom. I think that they feel there's a lot of state regulations or things coming from the board, and it makes it very difficult. And then you've got, the elephant in the room, the discipline issue in schools, and it's a fine line. And so that's why teachers are leaving. Are you going to retain a few because you give them extra money? Absolutely. But the point is that, again, I just wanted to reiterate, teachers are not in it. You know, there's that famous saying, teachers are not in it for the income, they're in it for the outcome. And that was my point to both of the councilmen, is that you can throw money at something, but again, it's not going to solve your problems. You're still going to have a teacher shortage and a teacher issue. And until you really get in and address those issues, I feel like it's going to be an ongoing problem.
What is the genesis of the battles at these school board meetings where parents come in and they're so unhappy?
I think COVID did a lot of it, you know, and I think parents were starting to feel that their voices were being shunned or their voices didn't matter, and that I think they finally said, wait a minute, we should have a say in what our kids are learning. You know, we're the parent. And so I think the most important thing to remember is that when it comes to a child's education, it's a three-way system. It's parent, child, and the teacher. And so I think that in these school board meetings, they were feeling that they weren't being heard. And now, you know, I don't think the Board of Education is doing themselves any favor by limiting the amount of people, because the second you say you're limiting, it's people aren't getting their voices heard. And so I think that's what it is. I think that, you know, some things were started in Virginia, and that's kind of like, you know, the path that Glenn Youngkin took to victory, as a matter of fact. And I think parents kind of woke up and said, okay, well, you know, what's going on in the schools? Like, what are my kids learning? And I have questions about this, I have questions about that. And so I think, yeah, just the way that I just think when you shut parents out or say you can only have 2 in there or you can only have this many in there, you know, it's violations of open meeting acts. And again, COVID played a huge role. So hopefully now that we're on, you know, they kind of going out of COVID at this point, that, you know, hopefully things will get back on track. So I know that they were re-looking at the way that they're handling parents and how many could speak. So we'll see what happens.
What do you say to people who worry that you might be a little bit too far out there, that you might be too aggressive in terms of managing our county?
Right. I don't know if you can be too aggressive in that role. I would feel that I would want an aggressive person in the executive role. You need somebody who's a go-getter. You need somebody who's not scared to go and talk to people. And I think that you need somebody who is willing to say, this is how I feel. But again, that is why I, you know, said, this is going to be my director of administration is Bunky, because I wanted people to see that I made a decision that hasn't been able to be made in 2 years, you know, to have a team. And so it is going to be very much a team effort. There is no, I mean, it's cliche, but there is no I in team. It's going to be a very much collaborative effort. And it is not going to be just me making those decisions. And so my personal views on things, I mean, they're going to, you know, come into play, absolutely, but this is going to be a team effort. And Bunky does such a great job at balancing that. And so there are things that I'll come and say to him, and I want to do this and try this. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to do it this way. And this is the methodical way to do it. And I really think that that's what that director of admin is supposed to do. And I think people, honestly, are really confused as to what the executive does, because it's a skeleton crew up there right now.
Right.
So it's John doing everything.
John Pesota.
Right, exactly, yes, doing everything. And so I think that they think, well, how is this one girl going to be able to do this? And I think that they have to realize it really is supposed to be an executive team that comes in.
What do you see as a way to have a successful relationship?
Right. Well, there's 4 new ones regardless,
right,
you know, that are coming in. And right now, those who are running, I've made really good relationships with them. We've been kind of doing the candidate thing together, you know, moving forward, regardless of what party. And then, you know, I think a lot of it is recognizing that they are the legislative body and that each councilman or woman has, you know, strengths that you need to capitalize on. And I think that we need to bring that respect, and that you need to just recognize that each one has, you know, positives that they bring to the table. I'm hoping to come forward and just kind of say, you know, I respect what you do. I hope you respect what I do. And it's not going to be this fight of power. We need to work together. And I feel that way, you know, with the municipalities as well. We need to be, you know, just working collaboratively together. I mean, or else we're not going to get anything done. And I think that they all seem to be on board with that from what I've heard. They've kind of said the same thing, that, you know, they obviously did not accomplish the things that they wanted to accomplish because of the bickering back and forth.
Why should the voters select Julie Giordano to be our next county executive?
Yeah, they should vote for me because I am the one out there working hard every single day. I'm the one out there talking to our police, talking to our fire departments, talking to our town municipalities, our citizens, our business owners. I am the one who is putting forth just an extreme amount of effort and want to do this job more than anything and know that we can come together and really accomplish a lot. But the other thing is too, is that I have a team in place. We have a team, and I hate, saying I, because it's a we effort, and we have a team ready to go. I have my director, who's already been announced. I have my deputy director, who I cannot announce. But I have my grant writer. I have a public works director. I have a plan in place to get this county moving forward. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that we are ready to go on day one. And I'm really hoping that I think that everybody sort of sees that. I think that they see that, I am working hard and that I really want the best for this county. And we have a lot to do and a lot of foundation that has been laid. And so I'm hoping that they, kind of see my vision and know that I want to move the county forward.
She's Julie Giordano. She's running for county executive in Wicomico County, and we're thrilled that she had time to be with us here today. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you very much.
Be sure and catch all the interviews with the candidates in our upcoming election on the PAC 14 YouTube page.